interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
The Bo-Rock Breakdown.
Now, back to our show.
Welcome to another edition of the Bo-Rock Breakdown. Alongside me, Tommy Guns.
Yo, yo.
And I'm the Bo-Rock, and we're back for another episode of the Bo-Rock Breakdown, breaking down the latest and not so greatest of Eagles football.
Tis a sad day.
I want to jump into something real quick.
Yeah, let's rock.
Before we, we usually break down, recap, we'll break down, position by position, whatnot. I want to just address something more broad, and it's just a team overall. It just seems like you're going. I'm not saying that this game was like the season, because the way the division is, it's not the season.
No.
But coming back home for your first home game in I think close to a month, okay, you're playing a bad Miami Dolphins team who has an awful defense. Their secondary's banged up. They're on their interim coach. Their quarterback hasn't thrown a touchdown in like a couple games. You got essentially first place on the line. If the Giants lose to the Patriots, which they did, and you come out flat. And it's the same old song and dance with this team. They come out flat. They either come out flat or they end flat. And there's just no intensity in this team. Like, I would hire Brian Dawkins as like a personal cheerleader just to pump these guys up.
I said that when they let him go, that the year they let him go to Denver, they should have kept him for third down and for locker room.
Yeah,
he's worth a roster spot for locker room.
He's more than a cheerleader. That's undercutting him. I think he would be a hell of a coach.
Mm-hmm.
But just to have his presence, or I get a guy that has that presence,
that intensity,
and it's hard to find. B-Dawk is one of a kind.
His energy level now, probably where he's at, is more intense.
Follow him on Twitter,
dude.
And he goes nuts. Just watching Eagles games, he'll be like, why did they do that? Why did they do this? But, no intensity. The sense of urgency's not there. You're already 4 games in the hole with losses, and you come out like this in front of your home crowd.
You realize the irony of these guys not having a sense of urgency in this hurry-up system that we're supposed to be running?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I just don't get it. How do you not get up? I don't understand it's the Dolphins, but you're coming back home in front of your fans. Like,
see that statement right there, though? You understand it's the Dolphins? That's a statement that this Philadelphia team can't make. It's a mindset we can't be in, because we're not that fucking good. Because guess what? I hate to say it, but around the fucking league, people are looking at us right now like, it's just
they're laughing. Yeah, they're laughing.
It's just the Eagles.
They're laughing.
We were picked to be Super Bowl contenders,
which was
stupid.
Total bullshit.
You've heard from episode 1 that I couldn't agree more with. We're not Super Bowl contenders, and that's insane. However, if you would have asked me then if I thought we were going to be this bad,
not at all.
Not
even close. Not even close.
Not at all. Not at all. So, this is a joke.
I'm off my soapbox. I had to get that out in the air, and it just pisses me off that this team comes out like this.
As it fucking should.
And it was every phase of the game. Every phase. Offense, defense, special teams, coaching. It was horrendous.
Yeah. Can't wait to talk about coaching.
Yeah, we'll get there. But let's address a position of concern. We'll dive into the offense, and we'll look at quarterback. Now we have some options at quarterback, so to speak.
Let me go on record as saying this right now.
Go ahead.
I miss Bradford.
You miss Bradford? Oh,
I miss Bradford.
That's big coming from you,
dude.
Man.
Listen,
woo!
I couldn't. I'd be the first in line to admit that I'm overly hard on the guy, and I say that week in and week out. But I've also been on record saying I'd rather have Bradford than Sanchez. Yeah. I mean, goddamn, the guy has one less one less interception than he does touchdowns, or two less, or something like that.
Yeah, I'll give you a stat in a minute.
Yeah.
But just touch on Bradford, and I know you said that you miss Bradford all of a sudden, but you're not going to miss him too long because I think he'll be back in a game or two. I think he's going to be out 2 games because I
know he was going through the concussion protocols.
He hasn't practiced, but they said he was on the field. So I think that's one step in the protocol is actually being out.
Yeah,
outside,
being allowed to be outside.
Right.
Yeah.
And Ryan Matthews hasn't been allowed out yet. So Ryan Matthews wasn't seen at practice, whereas Bradford was. So they're saying separated shoulder after the MRI. And, of course, a concussion. So they said 1 to 3 weeks. I'm guessing he'll be back after Thanksgiving because they got those 2 games. They got this game Sunday. Back for Thanksgiving, right? Oh, no, Thanksgiving. Yeah, he'll be back after Thanksgiving.
Pull the numbers up.
That's right. They play Tampa Bay and then they play Detroit on Thursday.
Correct.
So 2 games in 11 days.
Game, yeah.
Sorry about that brain fart.
Yeah.
But I think they'll sit him for those 2 games and he'll be back after Thanksgiving. So that's a long layoff after Thanksgiving. So enter Mark Sanchez, the turnover machine.
Ugh.
This guy doesn't know how to keep the ball on this team and not throw it to the other team.
I guess the way he sees it is he's throwing touchdowns one way or the other.
Well, I just think he's forcing too much. That's always been his MO. He's trying. He's I wouldn't say aggressive with the ball, but he's trying to force it into windows that he can't force it into.
I don't think he was even versed or practiced enough to be jumping into this game.
He needs to be. I mean, he runs a scout team. At practice, he runs a scout team, so he was Tannehill.
Right.
I mean, he's got to be, as a backup quarterback, you need to be ready to go in on any given Sunday. Any given
in case
circumstance.
the fluke accident happens, your quarterback separates
I mean, that
his
guy
shoulder.
Bradford, who is injury prone, he ain't going to get hurt. Not at all. But, I mean, Sanchez needs to reverse his ways if we have any chance of succeeding. I mean, the dude averages an interception 1 every 27 throws.
Man.
He is ranked 71st out of 76 quarterbacks who have thrown 2,000 passes.
Let's do some math real quick. So he averages 1 every 27, right? We run an average of, 80 plays a game?
Last week we ran 88.
How many of those were pass plays?
I'm not sure offhand. I would say at least 40. I would say at least 40.
So that's at least 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
At least. I mean, I'm not even saying that to be funny, but
Yeah.
That's around 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
And the chances of one of them being I would love the stat on, out of his interceptions, how many of them end up being a pick 6?
Well, I hope not many.
I mean, I agree. I mean, a game changer is just as bad as a pick 6, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, so right now, Sanchez has the ball. And let's hope that Bradford gets back soon. I mean, last 2 games, he hasn't been too shabby. 531 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, completion percentage of 72%. So, I mean, the dude has gotten better, and he's been serviceable. No matter how much you don't want to say it, he's been there. I mean, he's performed. He has improved greatly.
The last 2 games
over the last couple games. Let's say last 3 games.
All right. Well, if we're going to use the last 3 games, that's our starting point. Then he's definitely gotten better.
Definitely.
Overall for the season, sure, he's definitely gotten better. And I think we were having a conversation earlier, and I think a lot of my hate towards him gets misconstrued as I just don't like Bradford or whatever, or I blame Bradford, and I don't. It's not his fault. Bradford is doing the best he can with what he's got and where he's at, and I get that. It's not who I blame. I'm not going to go into it right now. I'm going to save that for the later segment. I already see the look on your face. You know who I blame and why I blame them, and I said it last week.
Do you think they need to put him in the right position to make
Gotta make light this week, folks. Gotta make light of a dark situation.
So speaking of trying to make light of a situation, I don't know if I can make light of the running
I think
game.
the only position they could put Bradford in to win and be a better player is quarterback of the St. Louis Rams.
St. Louis Rams. Bradford is gone already.
Dude, I've been not wanting Bradford here.
I know.
You know,
But
and looking around the league now, I mean, honestly, what are our options? It still doesn't make me like him,
Kaepernick.
bro. I'm a fan.
I know you are.
At this point, how bad of an option does RG3 look like?
Oh man, I don't know. Well, let me not think about that.
Yeah, I just said it.
So, speaking of gloomy situations, the run game was atrocious. On Sunday. We're going up against the 31st ranked run defense in the NFL. The 31st. And we averaged 2.3 yards per carry. 2.3.
Yeah, it's awesome. We did good.
Horrendous.
We did good.
Horrendous. And let's touch on something.
Did they fire Douche yet?
He sounds like he'll be the scapegoat if
Is he a scapegoat at this point? I mean, I don't like name calling and I don't like pointing fingers, and I disagree with that fucking wholeheartedly, but is there something to that right now?
I can't really harp on the run game because it's been so great the last 4 weeks. We've been number one in the NFL. It's just I don't know if their front had a scheme to. I mean, they were coming up the interior part of the line. You know, you got Sue, but they were missing Cameron Wake. I just didn't. Dennis Kelly is bad, but and we'll get in the O-line in a couple minutes. But I want to touch on a certain running back who seems to be MIA. Let's crack the curious case of Darren Sproles. I don't get why he's not being utilized in this offense. It just seems like he's there for a play, and then he disappears for 20 plays.
Oh, I know why he's not here.
And then he's back for a play. And when he's getting into this offense, they're using him as a change of pace back, running the ball up the middle on a quick 3rd and 2 or something like that. And I just don't understand that. Why don't you slot this guy out, have him run, have him in the backfield, have a two-back set, do some wheel routes. They've been successful if you can catch that wheel ball. That wheel route.
If they land it, it's amazing.
It's gold. But I just don't understand where he's been. I don't know where he's been, and I don't know why he hasn't been brought back into this offense in a more significant role, especially with the way our receivers are. And I'm not saying that you're going to line Darren Sproles up in the X position or Y position, but use the guy. Chip's creative. Use him.
Apparently not.
Well, he needs to get creative. I think that
if you
Darren Sproles needs to have a more significant role in this offense.
If you put Chip Kelly's playbook on the overhead projector, and then you overlay that with Tecmo Super Bowl,
yes.
All right? I mean, I'm just saying, it's not that different. It's not that different.
Halfback sweep.
Yeah. But you can't keep doing it from the shotgun. I just...
Does a running back have to run diagonal all the way down the field so you don't get tackled?
It fucking works. It works in real life. You cut the corner. It works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why are you not using one of the fastest guys in the league? At all? Why are you having him stagnant?
I don't think he's lost... I mean, of course he's lost a step since he was 24 or whatever.
Everybody loses a fucking step, but this guy is fucking ridiculous. It's not like he's been playing and we're like, oh man, they need to give Darren Sproles a little bit of a rest here.
The Sproles Royce does not age.
No, dude.
He gets better with age.
That is a well-oiled machine, bro.
Fine wine, baby.
I agree, dude. I couldn't agree anymore. Now there's, if you're an Eagles conspiracy theorist, you know what I mean? I would almost say that Roger Goodell got together with the referees and paid a bunch of people off and say, well, fuck the Eagles. And we're going to put money in the back of Chip Kelly's pocket and send him to Philadelphia and make sure he fucks the Eagles even more. I don't think we're ever supposed to win. I just don't. I don't. I mean, do you see the refs and what they do? I mean, is that another bullet later on?
It's apparent all over the league, though.
It's getting worse all over the league. It's inherently worse in Philadelphia and at Philadelphia games. You don't think?
Nah.
Nah, you think they call a square game?
I'm not saying they call a square game, but I'm not saying that the Philadelphia Eagles are the the main focus to fuck.
I think we're the recipient of more fuckery than most.
Has it happened this year?
Look,
yes.
you can be the logical, statistical guy, all right? I'm the fucking drunk fan that gets on everybody's nerves, and that's fine. Like, there are roles here on the breakdown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of
but
course.
I definitely think that we get more penalties called on us than other people, and stupid ones at that. Not that they're not calling an abundance of fucking stupid penalties around the goddamn league this year, but
yeah, and that's reason. That's my reasoning. Like I just see it. You see it all over. You watch 3 or 4 games, 5 games on Sunday. You see crap that shouldn't get called, and I don't think these referees know what the difference between what a catch is and what a catch is not. It seems like at least one game a week we're having a review or don't know what's going on, or like the play on Sunday, it took them forever to figure out. I don't know.
These guys don't even know what to call.
Did they have to
when
call
someone crosses
NFL
the
Europe
end zone?
or something? They call over London. They must have an office in London now. We play so many games over there.
If you watch the line judge, and they look at each other, they have to have a conference and then agree on a call before they make it. There's no more arms up, it's a touchdown. Like, and I don't agree with the sentiment that, like, with the review now, these guys just call whatever the fuck they want, and then you go to a review. Well, guess what? Like, the camera angles aren't that clear on some of these plays where you have to have concise information that was or wasn't a touchdown, because there was a couple of plays that were fucking arguable. But if they called a touchdown on the field, or a first down for that matter, and we got a shitty camera angle, guess what? You just ate a fucking call, because I feel like these refs are relying on that. Like, fuck it, we can call whatever, we're going to review it anyway.
Yeah, it's just hard to determine what is a catch and what's not a catch. I thought it had to be you catch it, you make a football move. Who knows these days? But anyway, enough about those zebra striped idiots.
Killing me, Blue. You're killing me.
There is one idiot I would like to talk about, and this idiot needs to get run out of town as fast as possible.
Whoa.
And I think he has overtaken my hatred for Riley Cooper.
Holy shit.
And his name is Miles fucking Austin.
Who?
Exactly. This guy.
Let it rip. Let it fly.
I can okay. You put out a great effort. You make a dive on a ball. You don't get it. But you make the effort. You're coming across and you dive. It tips out your fingers, but you made a valiant effort for the ball. You run hard every play. You go out there and you put your heart on the line. But this guy just seems like he's in another planet. From the drop, it wasn't a drop, but in the back of the end zone where he makes that catch in the back of the end zone and doesn't drag his toe. Like that's a play that 9 out of 10 receivers make.
It's basic 101, dude.
Drag the toe. Like, has he been out of football that long?
Even if you don't need to.
It's just it's basic, fundamental 101. I'm sure they work on it in training camp. Still. It's just something you work on.
What the fuck these guys work on in training camps anymore,
bro?
The
the interception that Sanchez throws, not saying that to begin with that the play should have been called, it should have been a pass or anything, but it looks like he's going through a stroll in the park in the end zone. Doesn't make an effort for the ball or anything.
There's no sense of urgency, buddy. We covered that. These guys don't fucking care.
He got his million guaranteed. He's good. He's good. And then he comes across the middle and doesn't even know where the ball's at. Doesn't even turn for the ball or anything. Then they were trying to. The announcers like, oh, this Philly offense, they're getting back to the line, they're getting set up, they know where they're at. And as soon as they say that, they go, oh, looks like Miles Austin isn't set up or doesn't know where he's supposed to be. And he doesn't know where he's supposed to be if he's supposed to be, line up in the slot or, outside or in the backfield. Like, the dude doesn't have a clue. Nah. And he just needs to go. I would go find Rasheed Bailey wherever he's at and sign his ass and cut this cat. I don't care. Lose a mill. Jeffrey Lurie, you got billions. Don't worry about it. You'll get over it. Anyway, speaking of receivers that I don't give a shit about, we can talk about Riley Cooper.
Got a hostile bow rock today.
First of all, Riley Cooper hasn't caught a ball since he cut off his mop. Like, I thought that would be a sense of good luck, a good step forward, a move in the right direction.
Why?
I don't know.
He was
Maybe
starting to
he
make a
raised
move in
his
the right
goalie
direction.
locks on his paws, and he's able to catch the damn ball.
He was just starting to move in the direction before he cut the fucking the thing.
Yeah, he
took him off the fucking wire.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
he's not on the wire this
Then
week.
he cuts the fucking man bun.
He hasn't caught a ball since the Giants game.
Yikes.
That's bad.
Speaking of the Giants, I'm fucking dreading this conversation with Dubs later.
Yeah, he's probably wound up and ready to go.
Oh, you know he is. I say we give Dubs a little bit of time on his own. To just
Yeah, I'll give him a couple.
air out his
I'll give
feelings.
him. I'm not going to give him more than a minute.
No, but I think it's deserved.
Yeah.
It's deserved.
We'll give him like 30 seconds.
Let him air us out for 30 seconds.
Yeah, no interruptions. I'll just let it go.
I'll take it. Take it like a man.
The time will be his.
Oh, man.
And with this receiving core, it's just so bad. It is so bad. Josh Huff, I know he makes a good catch for the touchdown, but he's got to be considered a bust.
Do you
And he's
think-
a third round pick. He's a bust, and the only reason he's on this team is because he went to Oregon. That's only thing I can think of, because there's times he seems lost. I just don't get it. This whole receiving core is garbage. Right now, we're on pace to have only one wide receiver with over 400 yards for receiving.
Barring
That is
some
awful.
excellent fucking use of draft picks, do you think it's almost worth us trying to tank the season right now? That's another 3-second stumper by Guns, everybody.
Yeah, it's a tough one because I'm not a fan of losing,
Me neither.
and I just
Let
think
me
the only
rephrase. Do you think it's worth the guys playing just enough to score for fantasy players and losing the game by a field goal? Stumper number 2, ladies and gentlemen.
I just think that I want this team to go out and win as much as possible. They can still squeak into the playoffs, and anything can happen. You saw what the Giants did in, I think it was 2007. They snuck in as a wild card and ran the table. So anything can happen once you get to the playoffs, especially the state of the NFC right now. So if this team gets their shit together and they run off a number of wins, get into the playoffs, sneak into the playoffs, and try and do some damage in the playoffs, yeah, I'm all for it. But at the same token,
Do you know what NFC stands for?
not fucking good. Oh,
No.
no, not that's NFG.
Northern Fraudulent Conference.
There you go. I'll go with that. But yeah, it's just bad. Well, we had the semi good, with Bradford before he got hurt. We had the bad. We covered the bad with the receivers.
Oh, yeah.
Now let's get to the ugly.
Oh, boy.
The offensive line.
Yeah.
What did someone needs to do something about this offensive line? It is awful.
It's like they're just forgetting how to play. Like, I understand, like, we're weak and we're hurt and we're this and we're that, but, like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck? Practice? Like...
The one guy that I wasn't worried about at all, and when I mean not worried about, I mean not worried about injuries, stupid mistakes, consistent play. I wasn't worried about any of that. Was Jason Kelsey. Like, this guy is a Pro Bowler. He's been the
He should know better.
cornerstone of that offensive line for the last few years. He's a seasoned veteran. And he's just making stupid plays. He leads the Eagles in penalties. It's just stupid penalties. It seems like it's like at least 1 or 2 a game where he's getting flagged for some stupid stuff. It's just getting old, man. And I'll give the guy credit. When he screws up, he mans up. He came out after the game and said, that was the worst fucking game I played ever in my entire life. And I need to fix it. Completely respect that. But saying it and doing it are two different things.
Well, that
so
and how
he
often
needs
do
to
you let
come
him
up.
say it? How many times can he keep saying it?
Well, yeah, I hear you on that one. But he needs to get his shit together because, without Peters on this offensive line, he needs to step up. And I think Lane Johnson has done his job, stepping up, moving over to the left side. I think he did a pretty good job. But the right side, Dennis Kelly, man, I think I could get around him. Yeah, and make a sack.
You're spry. You might.
Yeah.
You're wiry. I'll give it to you.
I get around that edge.
I'm wiry.
Around that edge, sack Eli. But and another guy who's been a fixture with the special teams, and we'll dive into special teams, is John Dornbos. I don't know what's been going on with him. If he left, I know it was him and his wife. He got divorced or whatever. She was pretty smoking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that has something to do with it. Whatever, but he has just been, it's just inconsistent. He was ranked the best long snapper in the league last year. Pro Bowler, seasoned veteran, and just on the first field goal we missed, snap comes in low. Messes up the snap on the block punt.
Fucking chest shots.
It's just like, come on, man. You're more consistent to that. They actually brought in guys to work out today for long snap.
He's no Condo, that's for sure.
That's right, Johnny Condo. When we get him on, we're gonna court him here.
Absolutely.
He's a former Pro Bowler himself,
dude. That's the move that we make. If you guys are paying attention, Condo's going to do an interview with us. He's a good guy. We got some good things to say about him and some interesting questions to say the least. But we're going to see if we can't get him to call up Chip Kelly and make a move.
Yeah. There we go. Come here in the off season,
Well, we'll have a nice podcast for him to be on whenever he wants.
No problem. Weekly segment,
Miller Lite specials.
Yeah. Man.
What's he know about citywides?
And just to wrap up special teams, and then we'll dive into your what you have to say about Coach.
Yep.
But the special teams just been bad. I mean, last year they were our savior. 7 touchdowns on special teams. We had 4 block punts. Yeah. This year we have 1 touchdown. That was Sproles' run back in the Jets game. No block punts. We actually have 2 punts that have been blocked. So it's just a tale of 2 seasons with this special teams, and they need to get it together. Lately, Sproles barely has time to catch the ball. Before he's getting hit.
Who do you blame for that?
It's the unit. It all starts with coaching.
Yeah. Yes, it does. I'm agreeing. That's why I got nothing to say.
And I'll give it to you. What do you got on Coach?
Dude, if you guys aren't getting my sentiment by the Tecmo Super Bowl projector comments and making him my bird on a wire last week, which I'm not sure everybody agreed with last week, but probably co-signed this week. He's
not my bird on a wire.
No, I know that, but I mean, with why I put him where I put him.
Oh no, I get it. I get it.
Our play calling is fucking atrocious. I am not seeing different plays. I am not seeing Chip Kelly trick plays. I'm not even seeing logical fucking plays. I mean, you the one play I'm going to talk about, you could argue that, we were going to go for the 7 there instead of the 3. But, how many times do you learn, points?
You're going up against the 31st ranked defense in the NFL,
Ugh.
and you have the ball in the red zone with when a field goal gives you the lead, and time's ticking. Run the damn ball.
Yep, 100%, dude.
That's what I didn't get. I'd make Sanchez the third to blame in that scenario. Yes, it was a bad pass.
Sure, it was a bad pass, but why was it a bad pass? Let's break down why it was a bad pass. Was it a bad pass just because it was a bad pass? Or was it a bad pass because you have your fucking backup quarterback who quite obviously wasn't ready to be in the game, throwing a fucking ball, who's notorious for throwing bad fucking balls in a bad situation?
Yeah, he had Selleck wide open.
Dude,
Missed him completely.
You know who wouldn't have missed him? I don't know who wouldn't have missed him. Maybe Bradford wouldn't have missed him. But I know that you don't put Sanchez in those. You know that Sanchez isn't a thinker. Sanchez isn't the crafty, on my feet, make a move quarterback. He's just not. You know, you talk about Bradford being a fucking game manager. At best, Sanchez is a game manager. At fucking absolute best. You know what his strengths and weaknesses are. He's not a new guy. Why do you put him in a position like that? It is beyond me. You put him in a position where he has to make decisions, make a choice, or make a fucking throw that counts, and this is what you get. So no, it's not Sanchez's fault. Because I expect Sanchez to throw bad balls. I expect Sanchez to throw picks. That's what I expect. What I also expect is a coach to know that and to coach around that. If you're going to be the coach, the GM, the fucking league owner, the manager, the mascot, if you're going to be fucking swoop, you need to know that about your team. And if not, maybe scale back on some of your fucking job positions and take a little more time. You know, I don't know, at least move up to Madden 99 or something. You know, like...
That was a good season.
I can't take it. It was a great season. I can't take it. I can't take the fucking play call. And a lot of the reason that we're sitting here fucking, you know, breaking balls on these other guys, it's not the offensive line. But if the fucking defense knows what you're going to run every fucking time, how many times are you going to run that same play in a game before they get it and beat and wear you down? This is inevitability, is what's happening to this Eagles team right now.
Yeah, the other scenario that I really didn't understand was, you know, we're getting down to the end of the first half, and you know, we call timeout. Force the Dolphins to punt. I'm like, all right, and I'm all about you get that ball back. I hate the kneel down. I hate the kneel down at the end of the half. When you have 45 seconds or 35 seconds and you got the ball in your hand. Now, it's one thing if you're pinned inside your own 10. You don't want to make a tragic mistake, you know. But you get the ball with reasonable field position. You know, go ahead, take a shot. You get a couple 20-yard throws, you know, you're in business. But they get the ball back, and they do these little rinky-dink dump-off, you know, throws into the flat or across the middle. You know, the first pass is almost picked off. I'm like, you cannot make that throw. Like, you got to get that ball. You got to get out of pocket. And if it's not there, you throw it out of bounds. You live to see another down. But you can't. I just didn't understand. If you're going to call those type of plays, if you're not going to go 20, 25 yards downfield, even 15 yards downfield, then what's the point? And calling timeout to get the ball back just to do that. You know, someone could have got hurt on that play. That was pointless. You know, could have had a turnover. You know, anything could have happened there. And it almost was, you know, almost could have bit him in the ass big time.
Why not just do the kneel down at that point in time if you're not?
I mean, like if you're going to do these little check down routes, you know, or little dump offs into the flat, then there's no point. You know, I can understand, like, you're going to do like a screen, try and get some like nice chunky yards, and then you get set up and you're on a different play. That's fine, but I just didn't get the whole play calling on those last, I think it was like 3 plays before the end of the half. So I'm off my soapbox on that. And you know, the coach just has to get these players in sync. It just seems like at times they're so out of sync with one another. And got to get on the same page. You've been playing together since May, the OTAs. Like, you gotta get this. You gotta sync
What's
up
scary is
and explode together, and you're just not seeing it.
What's scary?
You're not seeing it consistently.
Not at all. Here's what scares me, dude. Is that what we're talking about right now has been a lot of the same shit that we were talking about in the beginning of the year. But now we've added points. Now we've added negative points. And in the beginning of the year, you can chalk it up to, you know, or and some people can, you know, they're not in sync. They haven't been playing with each other. These are all the excuses that I heard when I was running my fucking mouth at the beginning of the year. They're not used to it. They're not comfortable with each other. Well, guess the fuck what? Here we are at week fucking 11. Now what? We have more problems than we started with. More inconsistencies than we started with. Fuck injuries, fuck depth. The guys that have been here and still playing, that were playing at the beginning of the year, I don't want to hear it anymore, man. Do your fucking job or get the fuck out of town.
That's right.
I mean,
tell 'em, Guns.
am I wrong?
No, you're not. You get paid too much money to make excuses.
I love that. Love that.
So the only some good signs. I mean, I wouldn't say it was great, but the defense played well enough to win the game. Now, Billy Davis, still critical on this defense. He's like, I think they average, I think they give up 20 points a game or something like that. I think the average is like 19 or 20 points a game for this defense, which ranks, I think, in the upper half of the league among defenses, which is it's good. And with this supposed explosive, unconventional offense that we have, we should be scoring more than 20 points a game.
Should be.
But, Billy Davis is like, 20 is not enough. We need to get down to 15. 15 points a game. Now, the team that leads the NFL in least amount of points allowed per game is Cincinnati at 16.9. So he wants to get down to 15. But it's a lofty goal to have. He also wants this defense to average 3 turnovers a game. You got to shoot high for the Stars. But it makes these guys work.
Aim for the stars and land on the moon.
Yeah, brother. But, I think the defense has played decent. I mean,
I start them every week.
The linebacker core, they try to come on. They didn't have a turnover this week, but they had their opportunities. They had a safety, 4 sacks. So, I mean, they did their job. Byron Maxwell had a great play, saving a touchdown in the second half. I thought the defense played well enough to win. They had that bloop, lucky ass touchdown they caught. Barwin blocked the ball, blocked the line of scrimmage, popped up, and Landry just sitting in the end zone, and Malcolm Jenkins is playing the player, not the ball. Didn't see it. But on that play, these guys got to be aware. Once that ball's tipped, you're allowed to, body slam Jarvis Landry if you want to. There's no pass interference. It's a live ball. So these guys, that's one thing. If one thing I want to criticize them on, and that's it. Is you got to be aware of where the ball's at all times in the scenario, the situation that you're in.
At the very least, Zoo would have walked away with a cheap shot on that play. At the very least.
So. But yeah, and news coming out on the defensive front was that Eric Rowe is working his way back into the rotation. He's been playing, practicing in dime packages, so maybe we'll get to see a little Rook back in action, see what he's got. So
just real quick, man.
We've
talked all year about, like when the defense does bad, we give them a little bit of a pass because they've been so goddamn good, and the offense does this, blah 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 blah. We can't continually rely on that.
You can't rely on the defense. No, not at all.
No, I love that we have a goal, but it's not defense's job to control the scoreboard.
But the offense has to do its job as well.
I couldn't agree more.
The offense commits too many penalties. They had a penalty called back. It was they threw the touchdown to Ertz.
Too many dumb fucking penalties.
Yeah, Sanchez to Ertz. Touchdown. Yeah, we're in the lead. No, we're not.
Just kidding.
Illegal shift on my man Coop. Illegal shift. Shit that should not be happening.
I can't recall another game that I've heard that called in.
Well, I've seen it, but I mean, it's a play you just got to be set, man. I just don't get it. Anyway, reports some injuries. It's a medial list of injuries we have. Of course, you know about Bradford. Ryan Matthews is nursing a concussion. He did not practice, so I'm not sure he's going to be able to go Sunday. If he's not on the field and not taking that next step in the protocol, it's something to watch. Thursday, Friday, it might be something to really.
How negatively do you think that affects our game?
Honestly,
or do you think that I don't want to say helps, like in the sense that Matthew sucks
He doesn't suck.
at all, but I think it
But
helps.
I think when you have DeMarco Murray or Ryan Matthews, if one of those goes down, I still feel confident in the run game. Because I don't think that there's a feed off of one of those guys. I think the guy, you always hear the term thunder and lightning. You got the thunder and you got the lightning. And I think that DeMarco and Ryan Matthews are the thunder, and Sproulsy is the lightning. You know,
apparently.
well, allegedly, but you know that's the way I see it. So I mean, I hope he's on the field because it's better. You know, the more running backs, the merrier. But I don't think that
The barrier. That's what he did there. That was nice. It was nice.
So, Jason Peters still nursing his back spasms. Hopefully he can go on Sunday. There was a little bit of controversy with him leading into Sunday saying he was refusing to dress, and Chip nipped that in the butt real quick, so who the hell knows what happened with that. Walter Thurman nursing the hamstring. D'Amico nursing a hamstring. And Barwin's nursing a quad injury. So, all those guys, I think when it comes out, they'll be listed as questionable. Just something to monitor over the next few days. So there's your injuries leading into Week 11. So we're going to jump into our Screaming Eagle of the week for our loss against the Dolphins.
Fucking might be me. I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
I am picking a guy who does so many things for this football team. Talking about being a silent leader, a guy who does all the intangibles, does whatever he needs to when he's asked, blocks, you know, whatever he needs. If you need him to slide out, catch the ball, he'll catch the ball. If you need him to stick in and block,
You're picking mine.
stick in and block. But I am going with the juggernaut, Brent Selleck.
That was mine, buddy.
Sorry.
No, it's
You can
okay.
roll with the same one.
No, yeah, go ahead.
You know, Brent Selleck was all over the place. You know, I think this was the week of, I don't want to call him insignificant, but from a fantasy perspective, like a guy who wasn't on anyone's radar. Like you had the Brent Selleck and Zach Miller went off, and it was crazy. Like Sunday was crazy, but Selleck's the man. You
This
know?
was waiver week.
Yeah, waiver
It
week.
really
but
was.
yeah, Selleck was all over the place, so he's my Screaming Eagle of the week, our Screaming Eagle of the week.
Yeah.
I'm sure a Birds on the Wire will be different, so I'm going to let you lead into the negative.
My bird on the wire stays the same from last week, and it's going to stay that way until it gets better. Chip Kelly, you're out there. You're on the wire, babe. That's it. You're
Dangling?
barely. Your fucking play calling is shit. Your quarterback's gone. You know, we're hurt all over the place, and you're falling the fuck apart week 11 in the season. So, you know, for me, I don't know what you could do this year to make it a better season. I don't mind losing, and I don't mind getting beat if we're putting a viable effort out. I'll take a fucking loss. If I can look at the team and say, you know what, dude, they fucking played, they tried, they made the right calls, they weren't doing the same predictable shit. They didn't lose the game almost what looks like intentionally. I'm okay with that. So, I don't know. If this continues, my vote's the tank. Go ahead, Bo.
The tank is in.
Go ahead, Bo.
My Bird on the Wire goes to Miles fucking Austin.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
That fucking piece of shit. I'm done with him. He's dead to me.
You're dead.
You're dead to me. But I would cut him immediately. I would run into Seattle. I would pick up Chris Matthews and call it a day. So he's my Bird on the Wire. I don't need to say why because I already went on my Austin tangent.
If you're listening to the fucking show and you don't know why by now, do me a favor and cut off your fucking ears.
Have a tell there, everybody, to save your blood.
Something. Jesus. Maybe donate some of that lifeblood to the Eagles. We'll probably use it.
They need a jolt, So, that being said, we're going to dive into some fantasy football talk.
My favorite section.
Yeah, brother.
Every week.
So, we're gonna run through some waiver wire pickups, that you might want to grab if they're still out there. And we'll start with that, and then we're going to jump into our stardom situms. And then we'll lead into some daily fantasy talk. So, that being said, we'll start with the waiver wire. We'll go by position.
Okay.
Quarterback. Who you got?
Bortles.
Blake Bortles. Yeah, if he's still out there, I'd grab him in a heartbeat.
And a heart, especially for this week. He's a grab him when you can start him this week, depending on how weak you are at quarterback.
Yeah. Another guy who I grab, who might be out there, coming back from injury. This show's sponsored by Miller Lite. Tony Romo.
Yeah?
If he's out there, go grab him. They got Miami this week. I'm sure
So did we.
Dallas will bounce back, and I'm sure he'll put up some yards. So, yeah, if he's out there and you don't mind a cowboy on your squad, go get him.
Just don't tell nobody about it.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. Running back. Anybody you got?
Man, it's not a...
I know, it's slim pickings.
No, it's, you know what? It's really not. If Ivory shouldn't be out there, but if Ivory's out there, you're an idiot to not pick him up. Charkandrick West is another guy I'm big on. You know what I mean? You pick him up this week. That's a solid. I'm hearing rumor of Doug Martin, but I think that's a strong sit-em for me for this week.
Yeah, he's on the waiver wire, though.
No.
No, he won't be on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
No, don't.
My leagues are retarded.
Yeah, maybe your league.
My leagues are retarded. But yeah, I like Charkandrick if he's out there.
Okay. A couple guys I like. I like
one more.
You got one more? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was my bad. Yeah. Carlos Williams. I've been off and on with him all year, but Shady lost his job. I don't know if anybody knows that.
He didn't lose his job.
Do some reading on that, brother.
Yeah, do some reading on it. Did you watch the game last week?
I did. Did you see the fantasy points? Who scored what?
Yeah, he got on one catch.
Got more than one catch.
Go ahead, look it up.
Anyway.
As I give my waiver wires, you look it up. All right. Shady had a nice game. One guy I pick up is Matt Jones from the Redskins, or the Deadskins, as I like to refer to them as.
I can't trust anybody from that team.
Well, I mean, if you're going to own a running back from the Redskins, that's the guy I'll go own. I wouldn't start him this week against Carolina.
You're right.
But I would get him, grab him stash. Another guy, if Jeremy Langford's still out there, I think he's got at least one more week, and I think even if Forte comes back, he'll factor into the offense in some fashion. He's performed that well, so that's another guy I would grab. And one more guy is from the Dolphins, Jay. I can't say his last name. J-I, or whatever. Rookie running back. So I would grab him. He might be dipping into Lamar Miller's carries a little bit. So that's a guy I would look as I'm not saying to start him, but grab and stash. So you find that stat yet?
Carlos Williams had 11 points last week. That's what I'm worried about.
Okay. Yeah. What did Shady get?
18.
Oh,
7 more.
Guess what I'm doing this week? I'm starting Shady and I'm starting Carlos Williams.
You got the handcuff.
Yes, I do.
Look at you.
Yeah. Thank you. I traded.
I know.
I traded for LaShawn McCoy, and I had Carlos Williams. So, going to receivers, who you got? Anybody on your radar? On the waiver wire?
Yeah, dude. Amendola.
Yeah.
LaFell.
Yeah.
Big pickups.
Julian Edelman out for the year, probably.
Yeah,
the fantasy year.
Can you fucking believe both of those guys were available, and with all the waivers that were done today? My one league is a strict. You put your drops in Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
You do your ads on Wednesday in order.
Yeah.
And that's it. But there's no weekly drops or ads. It's just one day in order.
Okay.
Neither one of those two guys were fucking touched.
Wow.
Guys like Mark Ingram were dropped, and they're in my on my waiver wire right now.
Wow.
But Amendola and LaFell weren't picked up.
Wow.
Now you wonder why I had a bad draft and we're in third place.
Jeez. Guy I'm targeting is Michael Floyd from Arizona, coming off a
That's a
big
good
game
one.
against Seattle,
Forgot
2
about
touchdowns. Another guy, Stevie Johnson from San Diego. Who knows what Malcolm Floyd's status is going to be? And with Keenan Allen out for the year, he's due for some targets. All right, and another guy, and we'll call this like a deep sleeper, Dorial Green Beckham from Tennessee. With I think Kendall Wright is out this week. The number 1 guy, Justin Hunter, went down for the year, so he's due. He's in line for some action this
That's
week.
not the first time we
Mr.
talked
Mariota.
about him on the show either.
Yeah, he had a good game a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
He's getting more involved, or I guess he's getting more acclimated with the offense, or he's getting more playing time.
Yep.
So,
What are you thinking of Mr. Mariota? What are your thoughts on him? About where he's at? Right now?
I like him as a quarterback. I wouldn't mind grabbing him from an Eagles standpoint. But
I was just going to ask you. You mean at a fantasy standpoint, or?
Yeah, fantasy standpoint, I think he's he's not a must start, but he's a good spot start for now. I mean, I think he'll translate into, I'm not saying a must start, but a good play. A good middle line quarterback. I would start him over Jameis.
Yeah.
So
Sad about that.
Yeah.
That kid, I thought had talent.
Yeah, I think he does, but it's just
Hey,
it's
listen,
the rookies.
we live in a world where Sanchez is still getting fucking paid.
Yeah, highest paid backup in the league for a reason, there, brother.
Yeah.
So, any tight ends on your eye?
No.
No.
I got tight end's always a tough position, I feel like, in fantasy. I mean, I know you have at least one guy that you're looking at right now.
Yeah, one guy coming off a bye, might have been dropped, and he's averaged at least 10 targets the last 3 games he's played, and that's Jacob Tamme from Atlanta. He's seen a ton of looks. So if he's available against Indy, I'd go pick him up. Another guy I would pick up is Zach Ertz.
You know why else that might not? He's from Denver originally, right?
Who? Tam, yeah, he was in Denver, and I'm pretty sure he was in Indy too with Peyton.
Yeah. So if you do your homework and you know facts like that, that actually might be an even better reason to pick him up because he's familiar.
Yeah.
He's familiar with Indy.
Yeah, he's serviceable. So I would pick him up and I would start him this week. I got him. I would put him in my top 10 tight ends this week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's waiver wires. I'm not diving into defense. Just stream it.
I'm over it.
So start and sit. So we're gonna do start and sit on predictions. We'll do quarterback. We'll do start our 2 starts, and then we'll do our 2 sits, and then we'll go to running back. 2 starts, 2 sits, wide receiver, and then tight end.
Let's rock it.
All right. So we'll start with quarterback. 2 quarterbacks I'm starting this week. Derek Carr from Oakland playing against Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit gives up a ton of points to fantasy quarterbacks because they suck. and another guy I'm starting is Mr. Blake Bortles on Thursday night. And I hate starting people on Thursday night. I was talking to our boy Dubs Monday night.
Right.
And we're like halfway through watching this Houston Cincinnati game, and I shot him a text. I'm like, man, you know what, Dubs? This game sure feels like a Thursday night game. It just had that Thursday night feel to it. Monday night's game. It's like sometimes those Thursday night games are really lackluster and they're kind of dull and boring. You got the teams coming off a short week.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me. But this Thursday, I think it's going to be a nice little shootout. I think Bortles or Mariota are a good play.
I couldn't agree with you more on Bortles. Where's my other fucking quarterback? Oh, and my other one's Matty Ice.
Matty Ice against Indy.
I think Matty Ice is going to have a high-scoring game.
Yeah, coming off the bye, be well-rested.
And then after this game, if you have Matty Ice, you fucking sit him for the next 3 road games.
I agree. He's not good
Matty
on the
Ice
road.
isn't a cute nickname.
Nah,
So
he's not good on the road.
He's either going to take off and explode, or he's going to fucking completely freeze up, and I don't see the explosion happening.
Yeah.
So,
Who you sitting?
a quarterback,
Yeah.
I am sitting Jameis Winston,
Against the Birds.
and I'm probably sitting Flacco.
Yeah, that's it. Flacco every week.
And here's another one for you, real quick.
Start or sit?
Sit. And everybody's got this as a start. Stafford. That's a sit for me.
Yeah, can't
Playing
trust him.
Oakland. Listen to what I'm saying to you. I know that everybody makes the Oakland jokes, and I've said it earlier. Like, I've gotten bitten, more than once by the Oakland.
Oh, they're a much
It's just
better team.
Oakland.
They're a much better team.
Mark my words, Oakland shows up this week.
They
You
have-
guys take that for what you want.
They have a good defense.
Oakland shows up this week.
Their
So,
defense has improved. They got some good weapons on offense, so they're not a team that they're not like everyone whoever you have is playing Oakland. I think the new Oakland is the New Orleans Saints, but that's just me. My sit-ems at quarterback. First one, he's been the perennial must start every week. He's having a season of seasons, and his name is Andy Dalton. And I think the real Andy Dalton just stood up, and I thought that it was a little out of character way he was performing. So I would sit him this week, especially they're playing Arizona. Arizona's defense is off the charts good. So that was my first sit. My other sit him is a guy coming off a ridiculous game. This team that must think they have the quarterback of the future, but I think he's just the quarterback of the month, and his name is Kirk Cousins. And plus, he has a bad matchup against Carolina this week. Deshaun or Garcon will be visiting the Norman Penitentiary, and they'll be locked up for 4 quarters. So those are my sit-ems at quarterback. Moving on to running back, who you got starting?
Starters.
Yeah.
Charkandrick West.
Took mine.
Sorry. He's on my
Son of
fantasy.
a-
He's a huge start for me, and he's actually not a start just for the week for me. He's a start for the rest of the year until he proves different, and he's been for the last 2 weeks that we've just kind of been quiet about it, but we talked about it tonight, and there's no reason to not start him. Also starting this week going up against New England, I got Carlos Williams going this week, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's a solid start.
Yeah, I'd start him in the flex.
So, and if you want a third shot out there of someone I think that's going to do good, it's probably not looking to do that good. Giovanni Bernard.
Gio.
So, if he doesn't get laid
Especially
out,
in a PPR.
yeah, yes, very much so.
He leads that team in touches. So that's definitely a good play. My stardoms, I had Charkandrick West. They're going against San Diego. San Diego is awful against the run, so he's a must start across the board. Other guy I have is Darren McFadden from the Cowboys. Think with Romo coming back, Dez is back in the fold. Their offensive line's intact. They're playing a bad Miami defense.
Think Dez wakes up this week?
Yeah, his boy's back.
All right.
His quarterback's back, baby. I just watched T.O. Football Life T.O.
I had no idea. Would have never put that together.
It was pretty good. It was actually pretty good. That's my quarterback.
He's still trying to make a comeback, T.O.
Yeah, man. He's in phenomenal shape, though.
Dude, he's an athlete. That man is an athlete and a competitor.
Oh, yeah. I'd sign him over right now.
Are you kidding me?
I cut Miles Austin and Riley Cooper to sign T.O.
I not only would cut Miles Austin and Riley Cooper, but I would cut Riley Cooper and give 5 minutes to T.O. and Riley Cooper in a room. Just throwing that out there.
No videotaping?
None.
Nothing?
None at all.
It's like in, was that Ocean's 11? Where they put
Yeah,
Clooney
yeah.
in the thing and they just, yeah. I guess I gotta give you one more running back since you took West.
Sorry, babe.
That's all right. That's all right. I shoot off the hip here, and I will take. Since you mentioned the Raiders, I'll go Latavius Murray
I like it.
against Detroit.
I like it a lot.
So who you sitting?
Forsett is a big sit for me this week.
I agree with
I it's kind of an obvious sit, I think.
Yeah.
I'm also sitting Doug Martin coming into Philly.
That's a good call.
Which, by the way, if you got Philly defense, that needs to be a start for you this week. Jameis Winston's been a turnover machine this year, and
That's your boy.
hey, he was.
That he was.
And the defense, we've been ball hawks. So I think this is a good matchup for Philly defense this year.
Yeah, I agree.
Also sitting, I just lost it. God damn it.
Uh-oh.
You can sit Abdullah from Detroit.
Yeah, he's not really. I don't think he's really starting right now. So I would sit Joyke Bell too. I would just sit all
Detroit.
Lions.
Yeah, unless you're Barry Sanders, you're sitting. I might even sit him.
Don't say that.
I have his
Don't
jersey.
talk about my boy.
I have it upstairs. I have the throwback upstairs.
So do I. Well, I have it upstairs. It's in my house. But,
That'd be weird.
yeah, it would be real weird. Two running backs I'm sitting. The first one's Jeremy Hill from Cincinnati, going up against Arizona. Hasn't really done much this year at all. So he's hard to trust right now, especially when you're getting into the final fantasy weeks of the season, leading into the playoffs. It's not really a guy you can rely on. And the other guy who you just can't rely on because he's too fat, that's Eddie Lacy.
Let's not hate on fat guys here, all right?
Oh,
Sorry.
he's a running back. He looks like a defensive tackle right now. He looks like Vince Wilfork from Houston. He needs to lose some pounds, man.
Yeah,
Get that trash bag and we'll start running laps.
I heard he was eating that McNabb soup.
Yeah, man. He wasn't slurping it either. Mama McNabb was feeding it to him.
While her son's in the can.
News came out that James Starks will be the starting running back. But they also said that Eddie Lacy will get, Starks will be the first series and then Lacy will be the second series. So it's not like he's just getting benched. He will be playing, but I still wouldn't start him.
That sounds like a PR move to me.
Yeah, probably. Who you got starting the receiver?
Jesus.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, please. I just lost
All
it
right.
again.
Yeah, no problem. First guy I got is Amari Cooper. Man, I just picked 2 Oakland Raiders in a row to start. The trend is changing. I
Reevaluate your draft, Kings.
think John Madden hacked my my spreadsheet or something. So that's the first guy I got. Second guy I got is Allen Robinson going up against that
It's ironic you say that.
depleted secondary. So, A-Rob all day.
My
We
two
are
guys,
Penn State.
I'm going to start. I'm going to go with Decker, who's been solid all year
Eric
going against
Decker.
Houston. Houston's been giving up a ton of points to receivers this year. And I'm also going to start Hearns.
Alan Hearns.
There's a Jacksonville team going on this week, and there's an Oakland Raiders team going on this week. So, you gamblers out there, you take it for what it's worth.
Jacksonville's putting together a nice offense, man.
They're not looking bad, dude. That Hearns kid last
For
year.
having a defensive coach as their head coach,
Yeah.
they have a pretty good offense.
I don't know. Maybe the guy doesn't try and run every facet of the fucking team.
Oh,
Maybe
he
he
also
takes it-
sucks,
Maybe
though.
he takes advice.
He hasn't done too well.
Yeah,
Yeah, all right. He might not be there when they get good.
you're right.
So I'm 2 guys I'm going to sit at receiver. One's Anquan Bolden.
Who?
Exactly. For more reasons. I mean, first of all,
He should have already been sitting,
yeah, he said,
by the way.
this guy, number one, I wouldn't start one 49er. Okay, I wouldn't even start Carlos Hyde.
No.
But Bolden, for a couple reasons, Seattle, playing Gabbert, San Francisco 49ers, no run game. Where do you want me to end? I can keep going.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay. And the second guy I have is Deshaun Jackson. I'm thinking he might be the guy entering the Norman Penitentiary, so I would definitely sit him. Plus, since he's been back, he hasn't really done much anyway, so that's a guy that I would stay away from this weekend. Who you got?
I'm sitting Mr. Brandon Marshall for starters.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think he hasn't really done much this year, dude, period. I mean, for Brandon Marshall being quote-unquote Brandon Marshall, he hasn't showed up.
Yeah, he's getting old.
He's about done. I think he's
He's got a little more in him.
you think?
Yeah.
Also sitting T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, T.Y.
T.Y., I love you, buddy.
I gotta see what Hasselbeck does this week. I'm not dropping him, but I gotta see what Hasselbeck does here because those backups they develop a chemistry.
You don't know what you're
with
getting.
with a slot guy or a guy that runs with the second team a little bit. So, be on the eye for like a Moncrief or Philip Dorsett. I don't know if he's back from injury.
I hadn't dropped Moncrief just as a depth on my bench. So
It's something to monitor this week. See who he targets the most. I'm sure they'll be throwing a lot because I'm sure they'll be down. So something to monitor.
Yep.
And any more sit-ups on a receiver?
I'm good there.
All right.
Good there.
Moving to tight end. 2 stardoms from me. Jordan Reed from Washington going up against Carolina. Think he'll be open. He'll be able to get open. He's a red zone guy, so I think he's caught touchdowns in each of his last few games. So that's a guy I would target. And as I said in the waiver wire, Jacob Tamme going against Indianapolis, averaging at least 10 targets a game for the last 3 games. So that's a guy I would target. Who you got?
Got to go with, especially continuing the trend, but I'm going to go with Eifert this week.
Tyler Eifert.
I'm a fan of Eifert this week. Gronk is the never-ending, perpetual start. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't even fucking have to say that out loud.
Well, I agree with that.
But I also like Travis Kelce going into San Diego this week.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That's Jason Kelsey's brother.
yeah. Fucking tell him to make a phone call.
For real. Man.
That was so serious. Such a serious moment. You're like, you know what? That's a good idea.
That's a damn good idea. Who you sitting?
Oh. Zach Ertz.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not feeling it.
No, I'm not. And dude.
Could have had a touchdown this week.
Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So.
That's a good point.
He didn't. So I'm sitting him, and I'm also sitting Antonio Gates. He's not doing it for me, man. He
was on a bye. Give him a break.
Yeah, I'm going to. On my bench. You're going to have all the breaking needs.
I am sitting Jimmy Graham from
Are you
Seattle
really?
until further notice.
Surprised about that.
I'm done. He is dead to me until he finds another team. And I'm sitting Jordan Cameron
Okay.
from Miami. He's just not doing it this year. Like, he is not. I think over the last 3 weeks, I don't think he's averaged. I think he's put together no more than like 10 points compiled. The last 3 weeks has been awful. So that concludes the start and sit 'em. Now we're going to dive into some daily fantasy sports, daily fantasy football with our man Dubs. Yo, Dubs!
Yo. What's
Dive
up?
in with Dubs to daily fantasy. That's a hell of a mouthful of a sentence. Dubs, listen. Me and the Bo Rock, we're talking, right? And we're going to give you a solid 30 seconds right now to get out every one of your Giants are great, Eagles sucks jokes. And I'm not even going to lie, we probably agree with most of them.
Without interruption.
Without interruption, we're going to let you have your stage right now.
Time's yours.
Where do I start? Actually, I can't really start after a loss. I'm feeling pretty bad about that loss. However, we don't have Mark Sanchez, the quarterback. I can feel good about that. Also, I can feel good that we didn't give away a draft pick in Nick Foles for a guy that didn't last 10 games. And that's about it.
That's all you got?
That's all I got right now.
That was only
Like I
15
said,
seconds.
It's following a loss, man. I'm not happy right now.
Fucking Giants fans, all premature ejaculators, finishing quick.
I wish I wouldn't even have started talking to two men, but
Hey.
That's how many bad nights have started. I know somebody that probably won't agree with you on your Foles shit, But buddy, I got to tell you, I'm right next to you. I love Foles. I wish Foles was still here.
No, the draft pick is what I meant more, buddy. But you got benched for Case Keenum. I wouldn't get too ahead of yourself there.
Well, here's the thing. Bradford was thought to be the greatest thing since sliced bread because he was out there in that
Nobody ever
offense.
said that. No, as a Giants fan, I'm gonna call your bluff on that. No. No one ever said Bradford was the greatest thing ever. I never heard an Eagles fan say Bradford was the greatest thing ever. I never heard Bo Rock say it. So I don't know where you get that from, but he is much better than Nick Foles. Much better.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
I hear you. You know, I don't agree with the draft pick thing. You know, I mean that's the part of the deal I didn't like. But as far as like quarterback for quarterback, you know, I think we got the better end of the deal. You know, I mean, I don't know who wins this deal. I mean, of course the Rams win the deal because they get the draft pick.
Yeah,
but it's really like a pick 'em. You know what I mean?
The craziest part about all this is next year, Sam Bradford might be in a St. Louis Rams jersey for much, much cheaper than what he would have at the beginning of this year.
And I don't think that's crazy at all. And this is, you know, I've been on record saying this before. I think Bradford was better in the St. Louis system, and I think Foles was better in our system. They're both shit in the bed with where they've got switched to. You know, and I know I'm openly, admittedly hard on Bradford, especially, and I know that.
I don't think you should. I mean, I guess as a fan of your football team, you have all right to, and you probably should to an extent. But first of all, I don't think Nick Foles will come anywhere near the Eagles again. I don't think he's that guy.
I don't think he's. Like, I'm not trying to put him in the Tom Brady caliber quarterbacks. But what I am saying is that he was arguably way better with what he had here when he was here. Now, we're not going to go too deep into this because I know Bo Rock's got some stats and some things that we're going to talk about a little later in the segment.
Well, no, we can roll with it now.
You want to roll with it now?
Yeah, I like
Dubs,
I like
are you good
this.
to talk for a little bit?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, see, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
But yeah, like
That's part of my strategy.
You're saying that you don't put Foles into Tom Brady. I wouldn't put him in the same state as Tom Brady.
Me neither.
Brady.
I mean,
But would you put Bradford?
That's what he said. I wouldn't put him in the Colin Kaepernick conversation.
Nah, me
No.
neither. Me neither. But you would put Bradford there?
You might get your wish.
What I'm saying is I think Bradford and Foles are around the same level of player, and I think Foles is a little bit better for our system.
Even if you switch it, if you put Foles on the Eagles right now and Bradford on the Rams right now, hell, of course, playing.
I think we're doing better if we have
Bradford's
Foles
better
here.
than Foles. Bradford's a better quarterback for the Rams than Foles is for the Eagles.
Oh, I don't know about that statement. That's where I disagree. I think
it's
Bradford's a
100%
better
true.
quarterback for the Rams, and Foles is a better quarterback for the Eagles. Now, if you want to argue the Eagles as a whole versus the Rams as a whole, I'll take that. But I don't
I'm not
agree with
saying
what you
teams.
just said.
I'm not saying the teams would be better. I'm saying Brad as a quarterback. Bradford is a better quarterback in St. Louis than what Foles is in Philly.
I don't know if you
He
have.
doesn't have Macklin, Shady, or Deshaun anymore.
I understand
You're
that.
talking about Foles having this season. Foles had a season with nobody that's on the team right now.
I understand
don't
that. Listen, for me,
I can't believe I'm fighting with somebody over the fucking Eagles. This is ridiculous. Jesus Christ.
You-
Do you
mission
guys
accomplished.
know this or something?
you know what's even better about this conversation, bud?
God damn it.
Is it's all recorded. It's going to be public.
God damn it. Hey, I'll talk football about any team. I don't care.
Hey, Dubs,
But it's
and I had this penciled in for later in the show. I had a Foles segment where we were just going to talk about Foles. And then we started going, and I'm like with Tommy, I'm like, no. I'm like doing this, and then I'm listening a couple more seconds. I'm like, you know what? Roll with it. Let's roll with it.
I didn't get you to say
I like
no.
an outside perspective on this situation. So
This is a constant for us.
Yeah, this is all ad lib right now. It's a beautiful thing. So.
Dude, that's great. It's great. Like I said, I'll talk football about the Redskins, the Titans. I don't care. But it's just funny that I'm arguing, and getting like hyped about the player I hate the most. Like it's whatever.
Listen,
You're
I
an asshole.
want to
You're
give
an
you
asshole.
I want to give you 3 quarterbacks, okay? And then
Okay.
you put them in an order for me. And we're
As far as what?
we're going
Fantasy,
to
real
just a general order of type of player, best player, whatever.
Let's go reality, not fantasy.
Yeah, okay, let's go reality. So Donovan McNabb, Coy Detmer, Jeff Garcia.
Well, Coy Detmer remember, that dude was hard to hate, but he was at the bottom. Jeff Garcia above Donovan.
You took the wind out of my sails. Why do you put Jeff Garcia above Donovan? And let me narrow the time frame. At the time when they played for the Eagles.
Oh, well, that wasn't said.
No, I know. I'm changing it as we go.
I might still have to go with Garcia. I just never liked Donovan McNabb. I think without that defense, he never wins one division title. I don't think he was good when the lights were on. There's a bunch of different things. He was terribly inaccurate.
I don't agree with all of Dubs' reasonings right now, but I got to tell you, I want to kiss a Giants fan on the mouth because I agree with the sentiment of the conversation.
Hey, you do what you got to do.
Here's my thing. Here's what
I don't want you to kiss me, but we're cool. I'll give you a big brother.
Here's the point. I'm Italian,
I
Dubs. We're allowed to kiss men.
romance.
All right, the Italian peck on the cheek, that's good. We'll take that.
Here's what I'm getting at is that teams play for quarterbacks that they like and that they respect, and I don't think that this team likes or respects Bradford. Is the bottom line for me. So I think that they did rally behind Foles. I think that they did play as a better unit behind Foles. And the same thing with Garcia. Statistically speaking, numerically speaking, whatever, McNabb was a better quarterback than Garcia when they played for the Eagles. However, when McNabb got hurt and Detmer, thank God, got hurt, the team rallied and played way better for Garcia than they did for McNabb. And it was evident not just when McNabb got hurt and they played for him, but when McNabb came back in and the team fucking fell apart again.
But I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to compare Bradford and Foles on these Eagles teams because Foles wasn't Foles. The team is completely different. I mean, 100% from special teams to defense to everything is different. I mean, they don't even have Evan Mathis anymore. You want to start there. You want to go to his weapons. They don't have any of them anymore. Look,
I agree with you, Dubs.
I don't think it's fair to compare them. I don't.
I hear you.
And Foles, last year didn't really have, when he was active and playing, didn't really have a statistically good year. I mean, he was borderline awful with those weapons.
For 3 games.
Whatever.
Am I correct me if I'm wrong, but did he eventually get healthy and Sanchez kept the job?
No.
Nah.
He never came back?
No, that was a Giants pipe dream that you might have had.
No, I just didn't know if he came back or not. That's all.
No.
But, yeah,
The Giants' pipe dream with us not having so many injuries and not finishing the way we did last year.
I mean, and here's another unfair comparison, is you to say that for last year when he didn't play, remotely even close to a full. Take any 3 games in a row from fucking Bradford this year.
Okay, so it's not fair to put this bad season on Foles because he only played a number of games. Is it fair to put all this on Bradford when he hasn't played for 2 years?
I don't put it all on Bradford.
Well, you sure sound
Oh,
like
no,
you
no,
do.
no,
I
no.
think you sound like
No.
Yeah.
I don't like Bradford, period. For this system, for this offense, for this city, period. Do I hold Bradford accountable for where he's fucking throwing the ball at? No. And last week I'll tell you who I hold accountable. The same guy I fucking hold accountable this week. Chip Kelly.
Trade him for 2 firsts and 2 seconds.
I
I don't want Bradford to go anywhere now because I'm afraid we're going to lose the rest of our fucking draft picks.
Well, no, he'll be a free agent.
Yeah, that's interesting. But
That dude's his agent needs to be fired. By the way,
whose?
for him turning down that deal that he turned down? Oh
4
my
years,
God.
72.
Dude, he should. Bradford needs to be fucking fired for coming out with that statement. I want to prove myself, and I'm not going to take a deal for the year.
I respect that. As a man, I respect that.
Yeah, as a
Right,
man,
I'm
guess
sorry.
what? As a man, you're fucking broke and struggling to feed a family if you have one now.
Oh, he's got
I'm
enough
already
money.
that
He's
way,
got
dude.
enough money
I'm already
to.
broke and struggling to feed a family. I don't need to freaking be a quarterback for that.
I heard that. So are you gonna work for free, Dubs? For the undisclosed place that you work right now, you gonna
Never. Bradford didn't say he was going to work for free. Come on.
you gonna work for your Dubs? You gonna take minimum wage and tell your boss that you want to show him that you're worth the money that you can be making?
No, I'm actually in the middle of a bitter
Oh,
dream dispute
but wait,
right now, so
as a
I'm
man,
not
you
gonna
respect that kind of move, though.
No, that's totally different. He's being paid a lot of money right now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, substantially more than us. That's for fucking
Yeah,
sure.
so I'm just saying, if he wants to, first of all, he wants to give himself a chance to make more than what he was going to make.
Yeah, you know how you do that, Dubs? You structure a deal with a fucking. You structure a deal with an option, and you guarantee yourself something.
I'm not a sports agent. I'm not going to get that far into the schematics of it. But
I'm not a sports agent either, Dubs. I'm a fucking Italian, and that's simple street math.
Well, speaking of money and earning money, how'd you do in Daily Fantasy Football last week?
I did pretty well.
By the way, hold on. Everybody listening right now, that was the most perfect segue that has ever been segued in the world of segues. Go ahead, Dubs.
I was going to say that as soon as he made the segue.
That was awesome. Go ahead.
That was great.
We high-fived if you didn't hear it in the background.
Segway. So
I
what?
did pretty well last week.
That's good. That's good. Did you follow your own advice?
What, by sticking with the lineup?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
All right. Good
And
job.
the only thing I regret about that is my running backs. If I didn't take the running backs that I did last week, I would have cleaned up.
Who did you
Absolutely
take?
cleaned up. Forsett and D'Angelo Williams.
Yeah. Stinker 1 and Stinker 2.
D'Angelo Williams. And that's the craziest part. Going into the week, those two guys, I was more confident in those two guys than I was Allen Robinson and Devontae. I mean, even though I was confident in them guys, I thought for sure D'Angelo and Justin Forsett were going to run wild.
Yeah, I thought D'Angelo was going
So
to
did
mop up
I sat Forsett.
like 160 type of a game, you know?
You know who I did start last week, though? I started Mr. Hearns,
Ooh,
Charkandrick West.
nice.
Yeah, I did well last week, dude.
I started Gronk. Yep, that was good.
So did I. Yeah, you know who fucked me last week?
Oh, hold on. Okay, go ahead. First of all, go ahead, real quick. Go ahead.
All right, you ready for this? I want you to be sitting down because I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this.
All right.
Andy Dalton fucked me because we started him over Eli, and I got the text message. I'm going to show the Bo Rock later. About an hour before the game, I text my partner, and I was like, "Yo, dude, you have any feelings on Eli Manning starting this game for us? Because I'm thinking, that might be the move or whatever. However I worded it." And he was like, "Nah, fuck that. Dalton's going to light it up. Dalton's going to smoke it." I needed 4 points to win. I needed Dalton to get me them 4 points. He scored 1.
Well, on my draft,
What league are you in, dude? What the hell?
on my DraftKings, I had Dalton, I think Marvin Jones, Gio, Bengals D. I had like 5 guys going into Monday night, and I'm like, I should be able to, creep up and get some cash money, no problem. Houston, no big deal.
That's what I thought.
And I turned the game off, and me and you were texting back and forth. I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. It was awful.
I don't know if I would have taken Dalton over Eli last week because I kind of knew what Eli does against the Patriots, and he's consistent. Andy Dalton, I don't think I will touch Andy Dalton again for the rest of the year because this is 2 out of 3 weeks now that he has left. Oh.
Dubs, what did I text you on Monday night in regards to Andy Dalton? What did I say?
I don't really remember. What did you say?
I texted. I said, "This is the Andy Dalton I know. This is the real. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
Yeah.
Well, the real Andy Dalton just stood up, and there he
Red
is.
Rider BB gun style, man.
That was great.
What a pussy, anyway. Really? Are you going to go cry at a news conference because somebody called you a Red Rider BB gun? You need to sit on a bench and shut the fuck up. That guy, that's disgraceful.
Yeah.
So who you got? Who you looking at this week?
Quarterbacks, I like David Carr.
Good.
I also like Marcus Mariota a lot. Especially for the price. He's the cheapest quarterback you can get that I have my eyes on. Either him or Stafford, and I won't touch Stafford like I won't touch Dalton. So.
Yeah, me neither, buddy. And people are leaning heavy on Stafford.
Only because they're playing Oakland, but even against them, I just don't trust the guy.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? That statement has bitten me in the ass 2 times this year. Hard. Only against Oakland. And Oakland's fucking showed up to play.
Yep. I wouldn't do it. In fact, I've got 7 quarterbacks on my radar. How I do my thing in the beginning of the week. Derek Carr, Tom Brady, Marcus Mariota, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson, and Matt Stafford.
Matty Ice is done.
Very last person on my list.
I wouldn't touch Russell Wilson.
I wouldn't touch Matty Ice either. Matty Ice has this home game and then 3 fucking road games in a row.
Yeah, that's why I said Carr, Brady, and Mariota are the only three I'll take. If I would take Brady, I got to go light.
But
on
if
the
Ryan's at
position.
home, Ryan plays lights out at home, and it's Indy.
Carr and Mariota.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sitting Ty.
You got no Tony Romo love this week, Dubs?
Tony Romo, is he really going to play this week?
Yeah, he's playing this week.
Oh, good for them.
They're going to make a run for it, Dubs.
So do you like Tennessee over Jacksonville as a whole?
No.
You just think Mariota's going to have a stellar
I
week?
think it's going to be in the 30s.
I
Most
agree.
teams are going to be in the 30s.
I don't think Bortles is not such a bad play this week. Tennessee's
Bortles a
secondary.
great fucking play this week. Their secondary averages 20 and a half points for wide receivers. It's like the third or the fourth worst in the league.
And they're big.
No,
They're big.
Tennessee, do not take him against Tennessee.
They're
I'm telling you
big.
right now, don't do it.
Their best weapon in the secondary just went down for the year. Minus all the
They only
problems.
allow 214 yards a game pass.
Well, McCourty's out for the year.
That could have something to do with it. I don't know. I wouldn't take Bortles this week. I just think he has more weapons, that's for sure. But I also packaged, you'll hear in a second, but I also packaged Mariota with Delaney Walker too. So
I'd
another reason.
be starting Bortles this week if I didn't have Brady. So I'm starting Brady, but I am starting Mr. Hearns this week for fucking sure.
Who you got? What about running backs? Does who you targeting this week?
My top three running backs are Latavius Murray, Sharkhandrick West, and Lamar Miller.
Did you come up with that one all on your own, Dove?
Torch Dallas. What's that?
Did you come up with the Charnado all on your own?
No, somebody at work actually gave me that.
Good for them.
Followed up with a Twitch joke, though.
And we got
Lamar Miller he might be the most sure running back pick of the week this week because Dallas, they allow a ton of yards out of the backfield receiving wise. They've allowed 8 rushing touchdowns. They're probably bottom 3 versus running backs in the NFL.
I agree with you. I just can never pick Lamar Miller. I have that. There's one guy. I'm sure there's a guy for you that you can just never pick, whether it's in a standard fantasy draft, maybe like DraftKings or FanDuel or anything like that. But everyone has that one guy they just won't touch, and that's the guy for me that I won't touch.
Yeah, Marquise Holston was like that for me.
Mine always was Jonathan Stewart, but unfortunately I have him in all 3 of my yearly leagues.
I actually just picked him up off waivers in a league.
Jeez.
But
and Marshawn Lynch is another one. I don't know if I've ever taken him in DraftKings. I played about 200 DraftKings lineups, and I don't think I've ever had Lynch in any of them.
I don't think I have either, but I've been limited.
You know what I love about him, though? He fills up one of those high dollar slots. It means somebody that I really want gets bumped down a couple of dollars.
So
that's the reason I won't take him. He's pretty good.
I hear you.
Yeah, high dollars, and
he don't pay
off. He don't give you the production you need for that value. Almost ever.
Not at all.
I think he's the 25th rated running back in fantasy year to date, and I know he was out a game or two, but I mean, on the flip side, D'Angelo was out for he's only played in 4 games, and he's all the way up there. So I just think Marshawn has
he only
diminished.
has 60 more yards than Sharkhandrick West, and he has 1 less touchdown.
Yeah, and some of that has to do with their offensive line, but I mean it's not all offensive line,
Sharkhandrick West is $4,500, and Marshawn Lynch is $6,700.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Come on, it's not even. It's not even a debate.
So who you got? Who's your studs at receiver? Give me a stud and give me a value play.
My value play is Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins against the Patriots. Monday Night Football.
Against the Patriots. They're probably going to have to throw the ball about 50 times, and 30 of them will probably go his way.
I hope they throw at least
That's
5.
a little bit of an exaggeration, but I think he's going to light it up. And New England's pass defense, as far as fantasy points allowed, is the worst in football. I don't know if you guys understand that, but they've allowed 41.8 points per game to receivers. And Philly, on my list here, is second at 40.4.
Yeah, I don't know what
Which
list
leads
you
me
got.
to my next pick, Mike Evans.
Mike Evans, that's your stud pick.
That's not my stud pick. The stud pick is Julio. But
Julio. But
he's in
yeah,
Indianapolis.
I mean, the Eagles should. I mean, who's the other wide receivers for Tampa Bay this weekend? Mike Evans and Russell Shepard. I don't know who else they got.
Humphreys? I
Vincent
think Humphreys? I don't know.
Vincent Jackson's out. Who knows if ASJ is going to play this week? They've been saying he's going to play for like 3 weeks now. Who knows if he ever touches the field again? Because every time I go
the
to
same way for the past few weeks.
I go to pick him up, and then I go, oh, game time decision. Oh, he's out. Dang. But
I mean, Evans, that's been the same thing for the last couple of weeks, and he's been lighting it up.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
at 19 targets and 13 targets.
Yeah.
Like, he's their only option, but
Well, yeah, I know that. Or Charles
still
Sims
works.
out of the backfield. So, well, speaking of tight ends, who you got? Who you laying down for
Your
tight
boy
ends this
from
week?
Detroit Rock City.
Oh,
Eric
Ebron. No Brandon Pettigrew?
No.
He got the touchdown last week.
Ebron, I don't even know. That might be when I go against my own advice and I change, but he was very, very cheap, which allowed me to go heavy on the receivers. So that's why I went with him. I mean, there's some other guys I was targeting.
Who else?
God, Dubs, you just sold that so well if I was following you.
Jordan Reed.
Yeah, I like
Jordan
the
Reed is turning into a stud.
I like the Jordan Reed pick because you're gonna have Joshy Boy probably on Djax or Crowder. I would think Djax for the day, So that's going to open up the middle a little bit for Mr. Reed.
And another one is a very, very high value pick, Crockett Gilmore.
Yo, my boy looks identical to him.
Riding the wave.
Crockett Gilmore.
Yo, fucking identical. Like, insane. Like, if I had a picture of my boy on my phone, I would show it to you. He's not on Facebook. Identical. My buddy Lenny Rosado, my Puerto Rican boy from Port Richmond. Fucking down to the facial hair, bro.
And my defense this week is the Ravens against St. Louis.
The Ravens. Yeah, Case Keenum. I understand that.
Would you start Forsett this week?
No,
Why not?
no, because he's turning into one of those guys that I can't trust.
But it's the Ravens.
I had him.
Yeah, but they
targeted
actually-
against
What?
St. Louis doesn't have a bad run defense at all. They've only allowed 5 touchdowns this year, very low amount of yards. So I wouldn't touch him.
I like it,
Not
Mr.
the one.
Dubs. I like it.
I got one more thing to say before we end this.
Oh, please.
There were a lot of laughs last week as we hung up the phone.
Hell yeah, there were.
A lot of people saying that I was nuts. People saying I didn't know what I was talking about.
I don't think that statement made it out there.
On that? Anybody want to maybe say that they might have been wrong?
No.
No. Okay.
You got laughed at because you said if the Giants fucking win, they're going to the Super Bowl. That's why you got laughed at.
No.
Let's rephrase
The reason
that.
I got laughed at is because you morons said the Giants didn't have a chance in hell. That's why I got laughed at.
At going to the Super Bowl. That's my
No.
my laugh at you.
No, that's not why.
You can't tell me why I'm laughing at you.
Put it back on there again. You know what? Put it on. As we're on the phone right now.
Go on YouTube and give me a view
Yo.
and listen to it.
Yo, let me get in touch with my assistant. Oh, wait. I got to
Maybe we should
hire one. Yeah.
Maybe you should hire Bradford. He's not doing nothing right now.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
I wouldn't mind it. He might play this week.
Dude, Bradford could be a hell of a fucking an assistant.
Yeah.
You guys can't even admit. You know what?
Yeah, I bet you.
No, the Giants played a good game last week.
Yeah, they put up numbers. They're good. They're not Super Bowl worthy.
I think they win.
No, they're not.
I think they win the division.
They're not Super Bowl worthy.
No.
Because who in the NFC would beat them that handily? Or you can say for sure would beat them.
Arizona Cardinals.
One.
Arizona Cardinals are the only team that has a shot, but I think that's the same thing as Brady. You pressure Carson Palmer enough.
It's the same thing with the Giants.
Same thing
Dubs.
as Eli.
If you pressure Eli enough, he gets erratic. That's what the Eagles do to him. We pressure Eli, we put him on his ass, and he gets erratic.
This year. Oh, boy.
What's that?
Oh, that guy's been handling pressure all year this year. 3 steps and it's out.
What happened when he played Philly?
I don't remember.
On that note, Dubs, I love you, buddy, but we're going to roll.
All right, guys, I got to hit the hay.
All right,
Nice
good
talking
stuff,
to you. I'll
bud.
talk to you next week.
All right, dude.
Later, Dubs.
All right, later.
All right, we'd like to thank Dubs for
Fuck Dubs.
fuck the Giants.
And the Giants.
Patriots prevail. Anyway, I hate the Patriots too.
I hear you. I mean, lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Which I really don't know who that is in this case.
I don't know. I'm going.
They're not in our conference.
Yeah. I'm going with the Pats. Anyway, let's jump into next week. We got this week coming up. We have pretty much a do or die in a sense. I mean, I think because you gotta factor in December 6th is a loss. That's the Patriots.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Patriots, we're playing in Foxborough.
I'm not even mad about that loss.
I'm not mad either. I know it's going to happen. It is what it is. So that puts you at 6 losses. So you pretty much got room for maybe in this division, room for maybe one more loss.
This is a game that you looked at in the beginning of the year and you were like, check, that's a win.
Woohoo!
You know what I mean? And you counted up as you were tallying what your score was going to be as an Eagles fan at the end of the year, and guess what? You've had your fucking mind blown and rearranged since then. So now this game has become like the Dolphins game, a must-win game.
As Ray Diddy once said, reality check.
Yeah, hard fucking core. Reality check.
So, got Tampa Bay on Sunday. Get to face the Rook, Jameis Winston.
You know,
Actually, Jameis Winston grew up an Eagles fan,
yeah, imagine
which
that.
is ironic, and one of his mentors is D'Amico Ryans.
Imagine that.
Yeah. So D'Amico must know a thing or two about Mr. Winston. Must know he loves crab legs.
It could also be in reverse. When you look at this Tampa Bay team from an outside perspective, and just like a real quick Tampa Bay, someone says that to you, you're not like, oh shit, Tampa Bay, you know. But then you start breaking them down, as we tend to do here, and you know, Jameis has been an interception machine, but he's got some highlights to him too. And then you look at Tampa Bay's running back, Doug Martin, and he's actually doing better than Chris Ivory. He's just not getting the fucking touchdowns. And I only know that because I have both of these guys in my league.
Yeah.
And then you look at receiving core, and you see Mike Evans, and Mike Evans is, you know, a hell of a receiver.
They have a depleted wide receiver core. So I think this could be an opportunity to focus a lot of attention on Mike Evans.
A ton of attention on Mike Evans.
Something that I think they've learned a little bit. They've done a little bit of zone, and you know, you got the safety covering over top. So hopefully they can contain Mike Evans, because usually these number one guys torch us a little bit. Julio. I mean, even Dez got in a touchdown on us with Mr. Castle at quarterback.
I mean, I guess what I was getting at is I hope they don't just overlook this team.
Can't overlook this team. We just lost to the Dolphins.
Yeah, well, you know, I also don't think preparations to start the fucking week before.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, you know.
I mean, you're getting all irate with that comment, and I agree with you. But look at why I'm even saying that. You know,
on the surface, this should be a win.
Yeah.
On the surface, last week should have been a win.
Hell yeah.
So, who knows? You got to contain Winston. He's got some legs. You know, you got to contain the running game. This game feels like, and I'm not comparing the teams because they're two different teams, but Tampa Bay and Carolina, like Carolina has that big quarterback who can move on his legs. They have a good running back, you know, and their wide receiver core is kind of depleted. You know, we got to worry about Mike Evans with this Tampa Bay team. You know, so offensively, I think there's a little bit of comparison there.
Yeah.
You know, our offense should be able to put some points up. You know, point blank. I mean, I don't care if Thaddeus Lewis is the quarterback Sunday. I think there's opportunities here to, if you put the right game plan together, you should be able to come out on top with a victory. So, got any predictions on Sunday?
You know, I didn't really want to touch this one just because.
You have to.
Yeah, but I have to. So I feel like I'm going to say Tampa Bay puts up 17. All right.
Okay.
But I'm thinking we put up 24.
Whoa, look at that.
So, you know, I don't think our tight end's going to get it done, as you heard me say earlier. But, you know, I think maybe that this is a wake-up game for us. This is a week where we're like, holy fuck. You know, and I think Sanchez limits the interceptions this week. And defense, in the event of interceptions, limits the chance of their offense capitalizing on it this week. I think we shut Mike Evans down. I think against the run defense, we already know where we stand with our front line. You know, as long as they show up, I don't see any way that this isn't a solid, easy win for us, and a fun one at that, and a much needed one.
Even with the Sanchez?
Even with the Sanchez.
Even with the Sanchez.
It's tough to say, but, you know, I got faith this week. You heard it here, Eagle Nation.
Faith. Gotta have faith.
Yeah.
So I frequent the Twitter a lot.
Nah.
Once or twice.
You?
Yeah.
You're a
so
twatter?
Yeah, I'm a Twitter.
Twit the twatter?
I'm a Twit the Twatter.
Twat the tweeter?
Twit the Twatter, Tweeter. All tongue-tied.
I heard that.
So yeah, I go on and I see this guy put up, and like I follow a lot of like football writers and like fantasy sports stuff,
Right.
you know, and I think it was like a retweet or something like that. But this guy puts up a picture of Rondé Barber running back interception, an NFC Championship game, right? And he puts in his thing like hashtag Eagles Week. We've been waiting for this. We're going to beat the Eagles. Now, talk about people living in the past. Like, my goodness. Like, that's how many years ago?
Rondé Barber's been doing sports analytics for how long now?
I mean, is it that bad in Bucks Nation?
Is it not? Who was their last great?
Quarterback?
Period.
I don't know, dude. But
They probably still roll out the red
But
carpet
wow,
for Mr.
but I mean,
Sapp.
you would think they would like worry about like a divisional opponent, like that'll be their rival. All right, like we get all excited. It's Cowboys week, you know.
Dude,
We get
Philly
excited,
is the team to hate in the NFL.
but it's
That's why I said what I said earlier.
It's like I don't get it. I don't get it. It's Eagles week. It blew my mind. I'm like, I can't believe this guy, and he puts up a picture of what was that? It was the NFC Championship game. I'm like, I cannot believe that these guys are so pumped for this game, and they think they have a shot to win. Well, that's why they play the games, I guess. So, with that being said, my prediction. I'm going. And this might not work too well in Bradford's favor
No.
if he's not the starter on Sunday. But I'm going like 31-14.
Wow. That much of a victory.
Yeah, I might be a little crazy with that one,
I like it, though.
but I'm doing it on hope. I'm basing it on hope. I'm hoping that this is like
I wish they could see your face.
a wake-up call, a breakout game. We've been waiting for that game where they just blow the doors off the team and just
and be
win.
the team that we know that they are.
Yes, and win convincingly. Like, I'm waiting for that game. And I think Sunday has to be and needs to be.
Now, not that I think it does, but let me just get your opinion real quick. If this is that week, and we fucking smoke Tampa Bay, and I mean smoke them, dude, like some fucking ribs on the grill, like my dinner that I burnt and wasted $40 of ribeye the other night because a grease fire started, and I wasn't around the 10 to it.
Just like Chip Kelly said in his press conference, you need to pay more attention to detail.
100%. 100%. So if we smoke Tampa Bay this week and we do it on Sanchez's arm, do you think at all that puts Bradford's career in any type of a pickle?
His Eagles career?
Yeah.
No.
The rest of his season.
Because Chip already said, and things could change, but Chip said that no matter what happens, Bradford's the starter.
Yeah, and I agree. I was just curious.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way, once Bradford's healthy.
That's a Rapsky, huh?
Yeah. I'm just hoping for a blowout so it gives us something to talk about next week,
Let's give them something to talk about.
Sing it, Don. Sing it. Sing it.
So
we're going to...
you want to rock your Who Cares section?
We're going to finish this up. We got a lot of topics to cover right now. Bullet points. We're going to go boom, boom,
we
boom.
don't care about.
Boom, 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 and finish with that.
I know.
All right?
I see how
So
you think.
fire it away.
All right, ready? Peyton. Benched.
Peyton Manning. What a turn of events. Peyton Manning breaks the all-time passing record. And then, in the same game, gets benched for Brock
Osweiler.
That's got to be a tough pill to swallow.
That is the perfect example of why I say all the time, statistics don't mean shit.
Let me. So they said he has a torn placier something.
That's a vagina muscle.
His foot. It's in his foot. Right? And they say it's been covering up or whatever. I don't know. Do you think that this is the end of Peyton Manning?
I think that press statement was the old Yeller statement. That's you take your dog over the hill behind the shed and put the bullet in the back of his head to ease his suffering because you love him statement. That's what I think that just was.
Because I think going forward, you can't, for the state of the franchise, just say Peyton is done because, he didn't exactly look good on Sunday. Or even in previous weeks, no matter